Yesterday, the Flyers gave out free tickets for NHL preseason hockey to Temple University students. Us here at WHIP also gave away some tickets and will continue to do so today. Now it's time to talk some pucks with the head coach of the Philadelphia Flyers, and that's Craig Berube. Chief, Zach Gelb here in Philadelphia for WHIP. How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Well, thank you for coming on, and we appreciate you giving us a few minutes today. A lot of football talk going on in Philadelphia, and we're all excited for the hockey puck to drop and hockey to return on the ice, but there's been some football coaches actually making some hockey references. Matt Rule, the head coach of Temple University football, said that he wants his defense to look like the 1970 Flyers and challenge their toughness, and I'm sure by now you saw the quote that Chip Kelly had saying that he thought Jason Peters was challenging his inner Craig Berube during the fight on Sunday against the Washington Redskins. How about that? Some football guys making some hockey references.
Yeah, well, Chip, he likes hockey. I know that. I've talked to Chip a few times. He grew up watching hockey and played, I think, himself. So he's a hockey fan. So it's nice to hear him talk a little bit about our team and stuff. So I know he's interested in a lot like we're interested in what the Eagles are doing, and they're doing great right now. It's good to see.
You think the Eagles are going to give you a sideline pass next time they play the Redskins to try to help them out on the field if there's another fight?
Well, I think they did pretty well themselves. I'm not sure they need me.
We're spending a few minutes with the head coach of the Flyers in Craig Berube. Coach, let's get to your team. This is the first time that you're going to have a camp with them, being the head coach in charge. Obviously, you took over 3 games into the young season last year. What do you really want to challenge your team to do, though? What's been the message so far in camp in some of these preseason games?
Well, I mean, I think that even before camp started, we stressed, coming into great shape, and our guys have done that. I think it's just making it, a difference in how they do things and how we want things around here. And so far in camp, we've had really good practices, and we played 3 preseason games, and so far it's been what we expected. I think we want to bang out the first 3 games and try to get out of there without any injuries and get some work in though and see some young guys, and that's what we did. So we're going to split camp here and send some young guys home, and now it's time to focus on our guys and get them prepared to start the season.
Last year, you guys started off to 1-7. Peter Laviolette got fired, and then you took over, and this team got into the playoffs. I know Mason was hurt, but he eventually had a really good series going up against the Rangers, and you guys lost in 7. I know your players weren't too happy about that as they wanted to get to the next round. Do you sense a little bit extra motivation from your players this time around from a year ago, and do you see them just a little bit more hungry as they get to camp to try to have something to prove?
Well, there's definitely more urgency, and they definitely have a better understanding of what needs to be done. I mean, first of all, it's coming into camp in great shape, and that's a start. So we need to push, and we need to make sure that we're prepared to start the season. We got a tough schedule right off the hop. We play a lot of really good teams, so it's going to be a good challenge for our team. But they were not happy about losing, and unlike any of us in the organization, we're not happy about it. We're better than that, and so it's time to go out and prove it. I mean, we got to go out and prove it.
Zach Gelb here with you, WHIP Radio in Philadelphia, talking to the head coach of the Philadelphia Flyers, Craig Berube. Chief, Giroux, he went down with that injury. He's going to miss some time in this preseason. How tough is it to build the chemistry of those 4 lines when you miss your big potent offensive threat and your captain in Claude Giroux?
Well, it hurts a little bit, but then, I think, we could still work around it and, get the other lines intact, what we feel is going to work, and want to try some different things. So, Giroux's had great chemistry with Jake Voracek. That's not going to go anywhere. But, I guess on the left side, we were trying to find somebody that fit there. So, hopefully he'll be back quicker than we think, and we can get going.
Who are some guys, if you could tell us, that you're trying to look in for that left side to complement Giroux and Voracek?
I had Braden Shen up there just to see what he would do, and I think he's a good goal scorer. He's got a good shot, so I had a lot of interest in seeing that, and I still do. Obviously, used Raffle up there last year, and he played well at times up there with those guys. So I think those 2 guys are, the go-to guys right now for that spot.
Let's get to the power play. Streit's supposed to have a big role for you guys on the power play. Can you envision him being that quarterback kind of guy on the power play? What's your role for Streit on the PP this year?
Well, definitely. He's ran power plays before in Montreal and the Islanders, and their power plays were tops in the league. So I don't see it changing much. He knows he's a very good power play guy. He's got a great shot, very composed player, good leadership. So I think he's going to do a great job for us there.
I know you guys lost Chemo on the defensive side of the ice, but when people say Craig Berube, what do you want your defense to look like? What do you want the identity of that unit to look like this year?
Well, I think you got a puck mover with a defensive guy, that bigger guy, and each pairing. We got Delzato and Shanahan together, Colburn and McDonald. They got it there, and goes for the strike. So you got a good puck mover, a guy that really wants to get up the ice and skate with a bigger bodied guy that plays good defense. So I like the way our pairs look right now. Again, they obviously got to perform and play at a high level to make it work. So right now it's going okay.
Obviously, Michael Delzato spent some years in New York with the Rangers. What was the appeal in the offseason to bring Delzato here to Philadelphia?
Well, just the upside. We saw him in New York a lot. We really liked what we saw. He's a competitive player. He's got good offensive ability and skills and a good offensive mind. He likes to really skate and get up the ice, and we want that. We like that attack. We want to be an attack team that way, and so it's very intriguing to us.
I know it's some unfortunate news with Chemo Timonen. Have you got a chance to talk to him? What's the latest on Chemo? I know he's going through some tough times right now.
Yeah, there's nothing to report. I see him every day here, which is great. He works out and does his thing. But there's nothing here to report, and there won't be. They talked about 6 months, so we leave it at that. I don't talk to him about that every day. It's annoying for him. I'm sure. I treat him as one of the guys here, and he comes to work, he does his thing, and that's it.
We're spending a few more minutes with the head coach of the Flyers, Craig Berube. And, Coach, it's always nice to have a nice, big, solid goaltender in the back of the net. You have that in Steve Mason. You also have a good backup in Ray Emery. How nice is that to complement that with your defense, with having Steve Mason, and what do you expect from him this season?
Well, again, good things like last year. I think he made the next jump, next step in his career. I mean, he got a lot more mature last year as a goalie. I think mentally made a few adjustments to his game, physically, how he plays, and I thought he improved. And as the season went along, I thought he got better and better. And in the playoffs, he played great. We all know that. So good things, and he's got a real good backup. Guy that's been around, and he's won, and it's a good combination.
I know we got into a little bit of a scrap last night as we're talking about Wayne Simmons, but I watched a lot of Flyers hockey last year, and every time I watched or covered a Flyers game, I was really impressed with Wayne Simmons. He's been doing it in the league for a long time, and he brings you that big physical presence in front of the net. What do you like most about Wayne Simmons' game?
Well, I just think it's consistent. He goes out and plays the game the right way every night. He's a power forward for us. He does all the dirty work around the net. Leadership-wise, emotional, he's an emotional leader. He plays on the edge. He plays with emotion. Verbally, he's vocal in all situations, in the locker room, on the ice. So he's a very big part of this team, and he just loves dirty work around the net for us.
On the way out here, Jaromir Jagr said the other day that he wants to play until he's 50. You get to see the Devils coming up here tomorrow for 2 games. How amazing is it that Jagr, still at this older age, in his 40s, is still able to excel at this high level on the ice?
I don't think it's amazing. He's an extremely hard worker, and he loves playing hockey. So 2 things, when you got those 2 things going for you, and you're talented like he is, and you have the size, who knows how long he can play for. His work ethic is really good. He takes the time to do what he has to do to keep himself in shape and to keep himself performing at a high level. And again, he's got the ability and his skills. So he could play. I don't know what age he could do, but he's going to play a few more years.
Is this a nice little tune-up for you in these next 4 games? You have 2 games against the Devils, 2 games against the Rangers, some good competitive nature this early in the preseason against some divisional rivals. Do you like that?
Oh, definitely. I think it's great. They're in our division. We have an emotional attachment to those teams. I think it's good for preseason that's there. Sometimes the division. So it's good for your team to play those games, to get involved and to get ready to start the season.
Well, Coach, we appreciate a few minutes today. Thanks so much. Best of luck the rest of the season as you guys wrap up the preseason, and soon before we know it, you guys will be playing the Bruins. So we appreciate a few minutes today. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.